also want to bring in, because what's interesting, viewers, is in midst of all of this, a lot of resentment, a lot of pushback, a lot of protest. While you see it in universities, which is stemming in from students coming in from the upper caste, but a lot of that, which you see on social media as well and outside, comes in from those who have been dyed in the wool, supporters of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And you can actually see that kind of pushback and protest from them. One of those, is joining me this evening, Mohandas Pai, Chairman, Aarin Capital, someone who's usually stood behind and agreed with the government policies, today is standing firmly against the new UGC norms. So my first question, what makes you protest against the new UGC norms? Why do you see that, why do you think that we are seeing the kind of mass protest that we are, the likes of you, who usually have agreed with the government, joining in?
The new UGC regulation is draconian, anti-constitution, anti-India, and must be repealed. To say that only one set of Indians are oppressors, others are not, is ridiculous. There is no data to back this assertion. There is no data at all to say that, one set of people are oppressing the others. This goes back to the UPS, communal bill, which tried to fix Hindus to say they are the oppressors against Muslims, which is ridiculous. This is anti-constitutional and should be sacked, and there is no protection against false cases. Today we saw an RJD spokesperson saying that they're going to file false cases against general category. We saw one video on X which says that a person of a reserved category proposed to a girl of a general category when she refused. He went and filed an SC/ST case. This is ridiculous. This is going to happen. And today we saw data on X which says that when you look at suicides, student suicide in IIT over the last 3 to 5 years come across all communities. It's not only reserved community. General category people also commit suicide. Is a problem across. And lastly, the total number of any caste complaints for discrimination is around 400 or 350 or so, when 4.3 crore young people are in college. Is it such a great pandemic that you have to bring some draconian regulations and give powers to some leftist NGOs and activists? I mean, this is ridiculous. This anti-constitution must be repealed, or otherwise, government must say all students need to be protected from caste discrimination, irrespective of background. That's the right thing to do.
So many would suggest that these arguments smack of an upper caste mindset, because you speak of data and there is data, which seems to prove that there are certain subsets of castes that have been subjugated, especially in the Indian education system. And it is only at the back of that subjugation that the need of, of regulations which are mandatory like this have been formulated. It's come from the top court of the country.
Now, where is the data? I want all these fellows, activists, to show us data. If you look at the All India Survey of Higher Education, SCs make up 16.8% of population. There are 16% of students in college. ST is 8%, they make up 7%. OBC is 40%, they make up 36%. And this is about 3-year-old data. Today we'll find that most communities have students in college almost equal to the proportion in college. So what are these people talking about? Where is the data to say there's one set of people subjugating others? There is no data to say that. Ask them to give the data. Where is the data? Supreme Court should look at data and not carried away by activists who are trying to create a fake narrative as if there's a great amount of oppression going on in this country.
So, let me give you an example. The sheer fact that today we have these regulations by the UGC come not from the fact that the Education Ministry decided to formulate this of their own volition. It came at the back of the likes of Rohit Vemula's mother, Radhika Vemula, who went to court after the demise of her son, asking for stringent norms to be in place that protect the rights of communities which are marginalized, where her son, as per her, got harassed.
See, the Rohit Vemula case should be seen in the context of the report given by the Telangana government. What did the Telangana government say? That Rohit Vemula's caste was not what he said he was, right? And Rohit Vemula has given a letter, nobody is responsible for his death. When he himself was given the letter, nobody responsible for his death. The letter is on record. How can anybody say this caste operation has something to do with caste? Where is the data? And you will see the investigation. The investigation has been closed. The investigation report can be placed before the Supreme Court. Why are people running a fake narrative?
Mr. Pai, are you actually telling me that, that there is no harassment, that students that come from marginalized communities and castes face zero harassment and it's a level playing field where education is concerned?
I think there is equality for all students in all educational institutions. Please tell me. I'm not seen any data to say there's inequality. 50% of the seats in government colleges and institutions are reserved. Of the balance 50%, 10% are for EWS for the non-reserved category. They're all reserved. They're all being filled up all across India in public institutions. Where is any discrimination? And if you look at the total number of students in all colleges across the country, private and public, the number of students from the reserved category is almost equal to the population. So where is the discrimination against anybody? If the government and the Supreme Court are bothered about any caste discrimination, let them say that all students will be protected against caste discrimination. And if you are discriminated on accounts of your caste, irrespective of what your caste is, you can file a case. You get protection. Let everybody get protected. Why single out 15, 20% of population to point them out and say you are oppressors, others are oppressed? Where is the data? There is no data today to justify such things, except some, fake narratives created by vested interests for their own reasons. Today, we have about 22.5% reservation in the legislature. And, please remember, in the Constituent Assembly and in the Parliament for many, many years, the reservation came about because the recommendation of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar and everybody deciding, yes, some of our people have been left behind. We must give them reservation to come up. And Baba Sahib had said it's for 10 years. It's being extended every 10 years. And there's a national consensus that we must do this. And who are the people who in power for the last 30 years? So-called upper caste. They're the ones who said we must have reservations. They're the ones who had majority in the Constituent Assembly and the first few parliaments who agreed. So everybody says, yes, we must help our Britain. We must make a casteless society. Are you making this a casteless society? You're not. You're only creating more discrimination, breaking up people. If you are bothered about caste discrimination, give the same benefit to everybody. Are you saying people are upper caste are not discriminated, not targeted? The evidence does not show that. You can see today, you saw that RJD spokesperson abuse and say we are going to file upper caste because we got this law. I mean, it should not be done. This goes against Article 14. And please remember, reservation are an exception to Article 14. Article 14 promises equality, and everybody is equal in this country. Yes, we have all of us accepted reservation for many years because all of us feel a part of a community should be, advanced, and people are agreeing. That doesn't mean that one set of people are oppressors. We have enough laws as it is to go against people who are so-called oppressing. Do that. Recently, the Supreme Court also gave a decision against the draconian sections of the SC/ST Act to say how it has been misused.
Mr. Pai, you want proof as in data of oppression, but how do you quantify oppression? It's happened in the case, on multiple cases. How do you quantify where data is concerned? And, moving on from there, my final question, Mr. Pai. The fact is, other than the merits of the UGC norms and with what you seem to suggest are the critiques of it, there is also a political issue. This has blown up politically for the incumbent government. It's pretty much in a catch-22 situation because if it goes ahead, somewhere down the line, it antagonizes the upper caste who at one point of time voted for it and continue to do so. And on the other hand, if it doesn't, then it irks and risks antagonizing the Dalits and other marginalized communities like the OBCs.
No, look, the solution is very simple. The Supreme Court is seized of the matter of caste discrimination. Just have the regulations to say all students will have equal protection against caste discrimination. Now you can say, I belong to the reserved category, somebody of this caste is oppressing me. That will be an investigation. Now, somebody of the so-called upper caste can say, I belong to this section, this person is oppressing me, let it be investigated. Let it be investigated. Let the investigation decide. Let there be justice to everybody. Why do they denying justice to a small section of population and saying they're born oppressors, they're the oppressors? How can you make the statement? You can't make such statement. Give the same benefit of protection to all students. Then you solve the problem.